All right, so the race here today is coming from Knockhill Racing Circuit. We're doing the circuit in reverse. It's a 1.12 mile, 10 turn course. It has a lot of elevation changes. Right now, we're going on to the front straight here. And so, important thing here is carry a lot of speed onto the front straight. The line is farther down where the flagman is right here. And this is about where my braking marker is too, is right about this line. Braking for turn one, and turn one drops away from us pretty quickly here. You get on the brakes, and then you need to start fading off the brake because the road drops away, so you'll be losing grip, um, and then kind of shifting and sort of awkward narrow entry into turn two right here. Real easy to run wide like that. Um, to get around there, and you can get off track on the outside and the inside really easy. Uh, but it also has kind of this sort of long bend right here too that you want to carry a lot of speed onto. So that's definitely a tricky spot coming out of two. And then here you use all the curb braking, turn in, blind left turn, use as much of the curb as you can, but not the red part too much because that'll upset the car. You can also kind of run wide here really easily. So turning in later is better, um, but it's a blind turn in, so it's kind of tough. Um, Here you have another blind turn. You can catch these curbs pretty heavily and fly the car through here. You're catching air on each side coming through there. Uh, Catch a little bit of air on the left side as you come through here. Wait for the car to settle a little bit and then get on the brake. Downshift into second. Turn it a little tighter as you get close to that um, apex there. And then try to stay on the throttle all through here, which is a little bit tough because you got to snake through here and a little bit of a blind turn as you come up towards this. I missed it right there, ran a little bit wide, which meant I got out here on the edge of the course there. So a couple blind turns, lots of elevation changes. It's pretty challenging, pretty tight, not a lot of places to pass. So it's quite the challenge. Um, and the car is kind of shifting around weight-wise a lot because of all those things. So let's go ahead and get to the race. So we qualified sixth here out of eight, and we had a little trouble on the line. I don't know, I screwed up something somehow. I think what I did was basically I had it in first, I was revving it, and then for some reason, just brain fart, I shifted again right when the light went, so I dropped into second and kind of almost stalled it there. So we'll see that play out. You see, I didn't get a great start. Usually, a kind of a jackrabbit at the start, but not the case here in this one. We'll go with a wider camera angle for now. Um, so basically, this is a little earlier in the day than I normally race, and so we have more Europeans. It's basically four Italians at the front, and they're all quick. Change the paint scheme up a little bit. They're trying to um, stay close, get in the draft of the seven car, uh, going down the front straight here. I not really close enough to draft and make the move into one, but then he drives it kind of deep into one, turning super late, and so that kind of surprised me, and I need to be careful not to follow him there because I'm kind of blinded by the car in front of me heading into that turn a little bit. So let's look at that from onboard. Uh, because we're right kind of close behind him. Um, let's fix this field of view. It's always wrong when I switch to this mode. Um, so go half speed. So as we get under braking, he doesn't turn, and I'm like, whoa, what's going on? So split second, like I got to turn where I need to turn, but I kind of lose track of him to my right. I'm not sure where he's going or what he's doing there. I think he was just trying to let us by, but I just didn't quite realize it. Um, so that kind of threw me for a second. So I'm gonna go ahead and move to the car in front of us a little bit, who we're chasing down here. This is Jose. I think Jose we've raced against. I think maybe last week in the Weekend Warrior League. So if it's the same person, he was pretty quick competitive there. So uh, I knew this probably wouldn't be easy. And wait, we both went off there a little bit. That turn is you want to carry a lot of speed because you got the short straight kind of coming here, but it's real easy to get wrong and it's narrow and it's awkward. I haven't quite figured it out. When we're doing laps in practice and stuff around here, I always seem to be losing about half a second through this first sector to the fastest guys. So I don't know. I got to figure that out. See if we get good TV mixed so it'll change up our views a little bit. You can see catching a little bit of air as you come through there. And then this is kind of that S section where it leads on to this front straight. Catch a little bit of air coming over that curb. So we got a great draft right now. It looks like diving it up the inside. And this one, I don't know if I squeezed him to the outside or what happened here. Um, I definitely lost track of him in my mirrors. And let's go far chase view, see how this was. I wasn't sure if I kind of pushed him wide or what happened here. Yeah, I caught the inside of the track there. So I got a off track for the inside here for going through there, cutting that corner. Um, I wonder how to look from his perspective because uh, I don't know if he felt like I pushed him wide or anything. But let's watch in slow-mo. So there's enough room for him to fit. Um, looks like he just kind of overshot it or gave me a little too much room there. But we're running a Dale Earnhardt style helmet. This is actually the design that Daniel Ricciardo used, the F1 driver used, I think at the Austin race, F1 race this year, I believe. I don't know. I just found it somewhere. And Dale Sr. and Jr. ran this paint scheme for a few races back in, I want to say like 2000 or 1999 at Sonoma and Daytona for I think for the 24-hour races, for the endurance races. So let's move up a little bit. Let's see what the top guys are doing here. See if we notice anything different from the outside. Clip in the green part there. Clip in the green on the inside and the outside. It all just looks real smooth and easy. As you would expect. Like, Don't seem to be overdriving the car. Using more track on entrance there. Using all the track, very good. Passing lap traffic there. With such a tight track, uh, it's tough with traffic. Um, it's hard. It's hard on both sides. It's hard for people to stay kind of out of the way and predict how fast you're closing in on them, and then for the car behind to know which side to go to, because the track is so small. What was the inside becomes the outside, and vice versa. All over the back of Luca here. Um, I feel like I'm a little bit faster, not a lot, and then he's having some connection um issues a little bit there, which is kind of disconcerting sometimes because I think it's right here. His car like flies up in the air, flips over, uh, so it's kind of freakish. Like right here, I saw his car flying and then crashing back into the ground. You saw sparks there. Um, but so the problem with that for me is if I'm trying to make the pass, I don't know exactly where he is. If he's disappearing and reappearing, it's kind of jarring. But regardless, you carry on. And he's a little quicker through some sections. I'm a little quicker through others, but I'm trying to keep the pressure on pretty consistently here. Just trying to force him into a mistake, get him to look in the mirrors a little too much, uh, or get him to try a little bit harder as he gets, maybe nervous that I'm getting close or something. Let's switch to, we'll stick with TV camera 3 here. Give us a little bit wider view of this. So now I got a draft. I go ahead and peek out to the inside. So it's one thing driving in front. It's a different thing trying to drive fast right behind somebody, um, because you lose some of your braking markers. You can't see as well. You basically have this big blob that keeps moving around, blocking your view right in front of you. Um, so I feel like I wasn't that much faster than him, uh, but because it's tough to drive right behind somebody, uh, people sometimes end up slowing down a little bit for margin of safety. So at this point, we are running in fourth position on lap 11. It's a 30 lap race. These laps are really short, just over 1 mile a lap. We're doing, what was our lap times there? 40, high 48-second laps, almost 49-second laps most of the time. Um, so we click off laps at a pretty good pace here. Let's do a lap on board here as we come up for the start finish line. That chirping of the tires is the tires like lifting off the ground and then coming back onto the surface. Yeah, you can hear that second gear winding out. I was fooling around with shifting to third, not shifting to third. I mean, shifting down to second or not shifting down to second, keeping it in third. It's, I don't know what that was about. Uh, I think one of the Italian guys was not so happy with one of the back markers. Um, So I was kind of talking over it a bit, but um, we'll look at it a little bit closer here. You can see as we approach, so here's lap traffic up ahead in front of this 4 car. So the 4 car is for position, and the other car is lap car, and I lose it. So that was what they call a code brown moment, where you almost leave a stain. Um, so if we look at this from a little bit of a distance here, we'll go slow motion. So we come out of here. I'm trying to catch as quickly as I can the car in front of me because maybe I can use this lap traffic as a pick, but I push a little too hard, and I also got it. I'm approaching that car in front of me so quickly, the lap car. Uh, but really, I got off track and kept on throttle is really what happened there. Um, and so almost almost lost it. I mean, I went off track, but was able to save it and then try to get back into it. Chasing again. The car behind us got through that pretty easily too and closed up a lot with that mistake, as we had opened up a bit of a gap to I'm blanking on his name, Luca. We'd opened up a bit of a gap on him, but we lost a lot of it with that through the grass tank slapper. So you can see right there, like there's a lot of there's a lot of air right there. You get those left side tires way in the air, uh, and then it lands back down. And so this kind of jerks the car around and unsettles it a little bit. Uh, so you got to be careful, like not hitting this too much or not getting too much curb or where you're braking or where you're turning in, because I kind of should be closer. It would Ideal would be stay out here a little bit longer and then turn in and be closest to the apex maybe a little bit later here. So that way you don't run the risk of running off track wide when this plays out here, because you can see I'm like almost to the dirt there. So, and then this one through here, we're hopping the car, and that's just kind of the way you have to drive it. Um, that's the fastest way around. If you could be fast without flying over the curbs, it would be probably more consistent and a little less risky. But so we got sort of a low intensity battle here going on, trying to catch the car in front. You got car behind. It's probably about 2 seconds or so to the car in front, and about 8/10 of a second to the car behind, something in that range. So the car behind is kind of barely getting a draft here, not a whole lot to be gained unless you got a little bit closer. There's a bump on the inside of that turn, that green painted part that we go over, cut in turn one. It upsets the car a little bit, but got into the dirt. That definitely lost some time right there. Maybe 3/10. The thing is, when you make a mistake like that, don't make another. Um, car behind us definitely closed in with that mistake. So then it's a matter of not making another one, because if you make another one, he's going to get into you or get by you. Um, Okay, so car in front of us is catching lap traffic again. Let's go ahead and go use the gyro cam here. Ran a little bit wide there. Could have been closer to the apex. So now we're coming up onto the straightaway, and the car in front of us is a little bit balked by the lap car, and we're able to shoot the gap in the middle. Um, so this is this lap car uh, was kind of holding up the leader here, or the car in front of us, I should say, third place. And so I don't know. The the lap car has a right to, uh, you know, use the track. Right? There's no. He wasn't blocking. Uh, he was using the track, and yes, the other cars, got to get by. That's the thing. You don't just expect people to move over for you, um, even if even if you're on a lap ahead of them. Uh, the idea is the car that's passing is responsible for passing safely and cleanly. The other car is just supposed to hold their line. So if we watch this at full speed, this is from Marco, who's running in third here. Let's just watch as he catches here. So he could have dove to the inside right here. He could have put his car to the inside, going through there, but he doesn't. And it's kind of just lifting going through here. But that one hesitation on the left-hander is really what cost him. And so then I just kind of blow by. It's not a whole lot of speed, but it doesn't take much. A couple miles an hour difference uh, is all you really need, especially because I could get on the throttle earlier where he was still kind of waiting on the car in front of him. So that's the situation there. So we're able to pick up third with um, that issue there. Let's go out to a wider view. So I have been watching the lap times, listening to the crew chief for the lap times, and so I know that number 4 car behind me is clicking off slightly faster laps than me. Had been clicking off faster laps by about 3/10 of a second a lap on average. But I got track position at this point. So the deal there is, let's say he's 2 seconds a lap faster than that lap car. He struggled for a few turns to get by him. Uh, it's going to be even harder with a car that's a bit faster. At least that's what I'm thinking. So I'm thinking, like, don't make a mistake. Don't beat yourself. Which are all sort of dangerous thoughts. You should really just be focusing on driving. Ran a little wide. Lost maybe a tenth or two. You can see it goes a little bit cloudy, and the sun breaks through a little bit, and it goes a little bit cloudy again. That's with the darkness changing conditions there a little bit. Probably changes the grip level to some degree, but I'm not sensitive enough to notice that. Catching lap traffic again. Different lap traffic, I believe. Um, Luckily, we caught him at a good spot there. Didn't cost us anything, I don't think.
Arrivando, bandiera blu.
I think that's second place. Heckling lap car.
Bandiera blu, bandiera blu. Blue flag. Blue.
So I'm kind of curious. Let's go take a look at what's going on here. Um, so this is the guy talking. Let's see what he sees. Doesn't look close at all.
Bandiera blu, bandiera blu.
So he's not even within like maybe
Blue flag.
7/10 of a second back.
Blue.
This is just nonsense, I think. Wow, that's uncalled for, in my opinion. Um, all right, so let's switch back to camera 3 here. So we still got Marco behind us. Again, we're approaching lap traffic. And I run wide. Probably partially looking at the lap traffic a little bit too much, and then I get stuck in first gear and I can't get it out of first gear. So now I'm trying to get it out of the way because I'm fumbling with the gearbox, and so number 3 car gets by, and then we finally get it going, get it back in gear, able to shift again. So I'm not quite sure. I was just trying to let Luca know that white car that I wasn't trying to block him on purpose or anything there. I was just struggling with the gearbox after going off track. And again, catching lap traffic there coming out of turn 2 and trying to do everything we can to use that to our advantage, use traffic as a pick. Uh, Luca got a little sideways in front of us, had to lift out for it because there was basically no room to use that momentum we had or take advantage of his loss of momentum. You notice all these 3 or 4 Italian guys, they all have a chrome stripe on their car, and they all have Italian flag on the back. I don't know if they're teammates or what. Looks like they all have Italian stripe down the middle of the car too. Um, so I didn't notice that during the race, but you also don't see them or hear them fighting for a position at all either. So they might just be sort of working together, friends or something. So still trying to pressure Luca here. We're working lap 26 of 30, so time is winding down. And we bunny hop that curb there. It's a blind turn coming up over that hill, and I'm trying to do everything I can to make up a little more ground. So I got a little more aggressive here, and it was too much. I turned it a little too early, and we went for a ride. All 4 tires in the air. And we also need to turn. So it landed, front tires caught and turned, and the rear was still flying. And so basically that's how it ended up. We are running in fifth position here, and 3 or 4 laps to go. And so nothing changes from here in position. So we end up finishing fifth, uh, first of the non-Italians. Um, and let's see. So our qualifying was horrible. Uh, these guys all qualified in the 48s, 48.2s, 48.7, 48.9. Let's see what our laps were. Um, I only did one. My second qualifying lap, I touched the wheel off in turn two, and so that one didn't count. The first one, I forgot what I screwed up on that one. Um, and then in the race, we looks like we got a couple of 48s, mostly in the 49s. Yeah, we got a few 48s in there. Fastest lap of the race was lap 23, 48.684. Cool. Thanks for watching. It's fun.